congressional district has changed. My congressional district now, and this is the district here, number two. Number two is the congressional district, and it's, you can look at this. I'll even pass this big map around. It's easier to read than the little ones that I have. This is Crosby right here. It goes around Summerwood, Kingwood, Toscasita, a little bit of Spring, comes across, this is the county line. Spring, North Harris County, following the county line.
I'm glad you're here.
2920 right here. And this is Cypress Wood, 2920, goes all the way to Booth Grove Street.
Don't tell me to shoot.
Works its way down to Jones Road. And goes all the way.
I live in this apartment complex.
And then goes south. Here's the loop again, inside and outside the loop. This is Jersey Village.
Why are you worried about me?
Takes some Spring Branch.
No, I'm not worried at all.
Part of the Heights.
Then why are you here bothering
Part of
me?
Memorial. Part of Garden Oaks.
Because it's my
All
right
of
to.
Montrose. And goes down into the medical center west of Main Street and ends
Yes, you are.
at Rice University. So we've got
Because you asked me to turn around.
18
Yes, you did over there.
She surrendered.
Well,
Primarily
emotion.
by me. She was actually 18, Jean Green's 29, then McCall, Culberson,
The other one is acting nefarious.
So anyway, that's the new congressional district. I'm actually
There's a lot I got to do that stuff.
You can pass around if you want.
I think my first speech is just as important as
No,
your right to record.
You can look on, you probably know this already, what district you're in, but you can look in on your voter registration card, the yellow card, and there are 5 numbers there. The first number is your congressional district. Number 2, that's us. That is for this election.
Are you a supporter?
This year.
I'm trying to listen.
And just so you know, we are still in court. I say the state of Texas is still in court. This is still being contested in the District of Columbia. And 3 judges up there have ruled that this map is also unconstitutional. And I suspect next year we will have another map next year and another election next year with a new map. And of course, then we will have another map for 2014. So we're looking at, in the state of Texas, all members of Congress, 36 of us, having an election this year, next year, and the following year, maybe under 3 different maps. But that's the one we're under. So I can get into details about
I
the
think people
lawsuit.
should be concerned
Probably,
if he is worried about just somebody videotaping.
we don't have to. I mean, there's
speaking
a lot
publicly.
of down in the weeds on that. But that's really what's taking place. So we have the three seats. The 4 seats that are drawn, 4 congressional seats, probably 2 Republican, 2 Democrat. After the smoke clears in November, 2 Democrat, 2 Republican. The committees I serve on judiciary. I serve on subcommittees, almost all the judiciary subcommittees, and I serve on foreign affairs. Foreign affairs, the primary subcommittee is terrorism. And because I serve on the terrorism subcommittee, I spent a good portion of my time in Congress overseas, seeing our troops in Afghanistan and Iraq and other places, Kosovo, South China, Philippines, and I've traveled to those areas firsthand to see exactly how our troops are doing. I hope you know this, but I political things that we can talk about. My concerns are energy. Border security is a big concern. Go to the Texas-Mexico border. Judiciary Committee, some of you may remember that Eric Holder has testified before the Judiciary Committee. I'm the one that asked Eric Holder if he had read the Arizona bill. And he finally said, no, I hadn't read it. Even though he'd been talking about it for several weeks, the Arizona law, he hadn't read it. Fast and Furious is on the front burner of what we're doing in the judiciary. It's going to get worse in Fast and Furious. We find out all the facts about us smuggling guns to the enemy of Mexico, the drug cartels. Americans have died, but Mexican nationals have died too. They're quite upset in Mexico about that whole operation.
How did they get away with stealing the information they don't want us to have?
That's why we have filed, while Congress has held Eric Holder in contempt for failure to give that information to Congress. We have, under the law, oversight of the bureaucracy. Part of oversight is knowing what they're doing. We have asked and subpoenaed the information under Fast and Furious, and Mr. Holder refused to give it to us. House of Representatives held him in contempt. Goes to a federal judge, and there's a trial. The federal judge will determine whether or not he has to give it to us, or whether executive privilege allows him to keep it from the American people. I don't know how that'll turn out. It'll be after the election.
Some of it was disclosed.
Some of it was disclosed, but it hasn't all been disclosed. There's a lot of information. So anyway, I will kind of just stop and kind of hear your questions and comments. I will ask one thing of you. There are advantages to having a short name. It's easy to pronounce, and it looks good on a bumper sticker. Most of you are probably like most people. You don't like bumper stickers. So don't put this on your bumper. Put it on your back window. And all you have to do is keep it up for 4.5 weeks. Then you can take it down. I don't know why you want to take it down, but you can take it off your back window. It's easy to come off. A little warm water, it'll keep right off. It's great advertising. It's good for me because my new congressional district, 62% new people, 62%, and this is part of that area. So if you put that on and you don't want to take it off, give me a call. I'll send Kim over and she will come pull the sticker off. But take one of these when you leave, if you would be so kind. That's my ask of you. Besides vote. Go ahead. Questions, comments, suggestions? We'll talk about whatever you all want to talk about. Yes.
Congressman, we keep hearing of our national debt of $16 trillion, but I keep hearing vague references to say this is really just the tip of the iceberg. There's much more unfunded liabilities. Do you happen to know what the real number is? And secondly, how are we ever going to pay for it?
Great. It's about $16 trillion now. That's just a number. I mean, I don't even know what comes after a trillion. Do you know what comes after a trillion?
Zillion.
You're just another zero. Let me explain it this way. Every day the federal government brings in revenue taxes of $5 billion. $5 billion. Every day the federal government spends $9 billion. 5 in, 9 out. So you have a $4 billion deficit every day. You do the math, and you can see we're talking about a lot of money in a real short period of time, 30 days or a year. It's really mounting up. Of course, that deficit then becomes part of our debt. We borrow the money primarily from the Chinese and the Japanese. And $16 trillion, if we were to pay it off now, I understand it's about $50,000 per person in the United States if we paid it off today. If you look on my website, poe.house.gov, we have a running number of what the debt is currently. So it's running. Several members of Congress have that on. It has to be paid for. That is not going away. It has to be paid eventually. And so the main thing, first thing we got to do is stop the bleeding, so to speak. And the way to do that is to cut the spending. We can't spend more money than we bring in. Many of you have a budget. some want to raise the taxes. Even the president's plan of taxing the 1%, that's his plan for solving our economic woes. That's the way I understand his plan. Solve the economic, because those people who make too much money need to pay more. And you adopt his plan, it would fund the government for 8 days. Disregard whether it's the right thing to do or not. Just the plan is only to fund the government for 8 days. Only do it one time. So, anyway, I don't think I answered your question, but it has to be paid eventually. And it's the grandkids, kids yet to be born that have questions. You have a question, sir?
Yeah, it was regarding the National Defense Authorization Act. You voted for it.
Yes.
And that makes it legal for the federal government to detain any American citizen without charge, indefinitely without due process. And I'm trying to wrap my hands around how you can, say you're for the Constitution, but vote for the NDAA or for H.R. 347, which effectively makes protest illegal. People cannot now gather near the president, the vice president, or any foreign dignitary or a building they are in.
About the NDAA. It does not apply to American citizens.
Yes, it does.
No? Okay, well,
And America is defined as the battlefield.
It does not apply to American citizens in the United States. You need to read the law again. I disagree with you totally. There's a lot of misinformation out there about the NDAA, and you're wrong about your interpretation of the NDAA. Somebody else?
H.R. 347
What about it?
that makes protest illegal. People can no longer gather near a building and in protest near the president, the vice president, any foreign dignitary. They cannot interrupt or
Well, it's a security bill for the safety of it's to clarify previous law for security of the president. And that's what it does. It defines exactly what the Secret Service can do and cannot do. And it's,
But people can be thrown. It's now a federal crime to knowingly gather in protest near a building where the president, vice president, or any foreign dignitary can be.
That's the guidelines. I'm not going to argue with you.
I'm not arguing that. I'm just stating the facts, and I'm wondering why you say if you say that you're for the Constitution, how you can vote to shred the Constitution at the same time.
We don't need to have that sort of.
No, I disagree with you totally. I didn't vote to shred the Constitution. You can say that. You can record it on your little recorder there, but I didn't vote that way to shred the Constitution.
Well, since I have my little recorder out, can you please tell me why? Can you please tell me why you quoted Nathan Bedford Forrest on the House floor?
Excuse me, let me.
We're gonna move on.
I think we need to allow other people to speak as well and ask questions.
In the upcoming election, Congressman, I guess I'm always concerned about fraud taking place, and what role might we practically take? I mean, getting involved with the political process to try to, how we plug into maybe watching the polls to make sure that fraud doesn't take place in the upcoming election.
Well, I think that the voter ID laws are the secret to having secure ballots. Now, those are all in court now. We'll see what the federal courts do. You have to have a photo ID to do almost anything in the United States except vote. That is a good way to secure the ballot box, and I would hope that we would have that.
Should we maybe contact the precinct chairman and volunteer our citizens and like supervising the polls or something like that?
You're touching me.
I really don't
Can you
know
please step
what
away?
practically you do.
Well, if you want to be a poll worker, of course, anybody trained to be a poll worker, or